hitter in the community, you know, by way of Brooklyn, New York, worldwide though. You see him right here, author, speaker right here, the great Dr. George C. Fraser. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, George. I appreciate you, man. I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Fraser Net, 30 years, over
that's
30
right,
years.
That's right, 31 years, man.
Now, if y'all don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, George, Fraser Net is all about global networking and bringing human resources together to better the lives of African-American people, basically.
That's the bottom line, right.
That's the bottom line.
Right. It's about networking, and it's about economic development, wealth creation, closing the income and wealth gap between black folk and white folk, and helping our people understand that white people will not be saving black people.
George, that ain't the first time you say that. Matter of fact, anytime I seen you speak, you always bring that up.
Yeah,
I mean, it resonated with me, you know.
I mean, it's been 400 years and we ain't saved.
Okay? Right.
So they will not be saving us. In fact, white people are not even thinking about black people. Right? You know who white people are thinking about?
White people.
White people. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're thinking about their husbands, their wives, their children, their neighborhoods, their schools, their businesses, and your pockets.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking about.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to be thinking about. And so we really have to get our stuff together. And I you know, I'm 73 years old. I know I look I know I look 35 or 40, but you know, black don't crack. Black don't crack. You know, so for all of your fans out there that didn't know, yes, I am black. In case you were not entirely sure. Okay.
Now, what you may not know, George is also the author of several books. You know, 4 prominent books, including a children's book.
That's right. 6
wow.
books. 6 books.
6 books?
Yeah, who would have thunk it? Is it the first adventure of the Fraser foster kids? So, because a lot of people don't know, I was a foster child.
You were one of what, 11 children?
11 children. That's right. My father came to this country in the early 1900s from Guyana. Beautiful black man, about the color of my jacket. He was my father was that African blue black.
Yeah, that real black.
Right.
Black.
Yeah, blackity black.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful skin, beautiful black. He married a fair-skinned sister, Ida Mae Baldwin, from Lumpkin, Georgia.
Okay.
Right? They actually met in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, from Bed-Stuy. In fact, they say that
you're from the heart of the.
This is hardcore now.
Yeah, hardcore
stuff. Home of Biggie Small.
Yeah.
Home of Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Home of Spike Lee. So they say that's right. They say if you, that's right, I love them.
Yeah, I love them.
They say, is that you love it? Okay. They say if you from Brooklyn, you from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, you're either a thug or a gangster. Okay. I'm a gangster.
Okay,
and your audience is gonna find that out in a minute.
Okay.
I laugh and joke.
Yeah.
But I don't play.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's about doing,
okay,
not just about talking, and that's what we have to be about,
right?
And we have to fix us. We have to man up and woman up and fix our people, fix our community. We have got to have more black folk, more brothers and sisters doing the kinds of things that you're doing. You're really a vein, a line, a highway of information.
Okay.
Right. This is very powerful. And so, and you're going all over the world. You're live streaming, so you don't know who's watching.
Right.
So the information that you're providing people, the influence that you have on people's minds and their consciousness is very, very powerful. And you took responsibility and did this with what you had. You cast your bucket down and you started with what you had, and you made something happen, and you created or leverage a distribution system. Let me just say one thing about that. Ideas are great, but systems are better. So black folk got a million ideas.
Yeah.
We are the most creative people on the planet.
Yeah.
We invented jazz, and jazz is 80% improvisation, right?
Yeah.
You have a melody, and then you improvise for 5.5 minutes. That means that you're creating ideas in the split seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have plenty of damn ideas. Ain't no question about that. We're not short on ideas.
Yeah.
So we have to learn as we build out our businesses to create a system, right? To create a system. What you have is a system.
Right.
You record your show,
Mm-hmm.
and then you edit it, and sometimes, and you package it sometimes, and then you put it out into your distribution system,
Yeah.
and you have a way of getting people in here. So you have a system. A system is really what is needed in our business. Let me give you an example. In 1950, there were about 6,000 hamburger joints in America,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Ray Kroc came along.
McDonald's.
He said,
Was it-
6,000. And he found the McDonald's brothers, and they had some really nice hamburgers out on the West Coast. But they were only serving so many people because they only had the capacity to serve so many people, and they could not duplicate the taste and flavor of their hamburger because they didn't really have a system. Ray Kroc developed a system. That's what we call franchising. Franchising is a system. It is an idea to simply sell hamburgers by the billions. Right. That's a system, right? Right. So that's the most important thing. We
Right.
have to convert our ideas. We ain't short of ideas into systems. That's what Black Wall Street has to be about. It is about encouraging our people to move beyond cooperation into collaboration,
Okay.
right? See, when you cooperate, 1 and 1 makes 2. But
Right.
when you collaborate,
Yeah.
1 and 1 makes 11. That's what we're looking to do. So we have to connect the dots, right?
Right.
Leverage our collective resources and intellectual capital because we're some smart people.
Right.
We're a $1.2 trillion annual economy. If we were a nation, we would be the 16th richest nation in the entire world. Make no mistake about that.
Talking about the spending power of
I'm
Black
talking
people.
about the consumption power, the spending power of Black people in America. I've been every place that Black people have been dispersed. I've been to South Africa, Central Africa, West Africa, East Africa, all over North Africa, all over South America, and all over the Caribbean. Every place that we have been dispersed, there are no Black people in the entire world doing better than we are. In fact, we are the beacon of hope for every single person of African descent in the entire world. They want to come here. Right? Now, we're doing better, but we're still doing bad. Right? So we're doing better, but we're still doing bad. So if we're doing bad, you can imagine they're not doing nearly what we're doing. Right. So this information that you're putting out in the universe, these ideas, the whole concept of sovereignty, the whole concept of even if you're shot, it doesn't matter. You can get up and you can do something and you can help and you can serve. And these are the images and these are the powerful words that you are communicating. You have a system to communicate with our people.
So the systems are more important than the actual the part themselves.
That's
I
right.
understand what you're saying.
From an individual, see, when you have a system, you can duplicate it easier.
Yeah.
You can scale it faster.
Yeah.
Right. And you can teach it easier.
Let me ask you a question. What kind of system? Because Mr. Fraser, you did really well at a couple of Fortune 500 companies.
I did.
Procter and Gamble.
That's right.
United
Way.
United Way. Ford Motor Company.
That's right.
So what was it that you brought to the table that made you successful with these characters, these bodies, these entities?
Well, I felt that as I was educating myself, that I wanted to learn how to market. I wanted to learn how to sell, and I wanted to learn the ideas and the concepts of branding. Branding. Everything's a brand. You're a brand.
Right.
I'm a brand. Everything we're doing is branding, right?
Right.
We're talking about the King Ra and the Queen Ra. That's a brand, right? So I wanted to learn how to brand. So I got a job with Procter and Gamble, who are the beasts of marketing. They invented branding, right? And I stayed and learned from them for 12 or 13 years. And then I took that knowledge, right, and leveraged that knowledge and built my own brand, FraserNet, right? But I learned from them. Now, when I went there to sell toothpaste and deodorant, because that's what they were selling, and Jif peanut butter and Tide, right? That was inconsequential to me. What I wanted to learn was, how did they do it? What was the packaging like? How did they frame their brand? How do they get the message out? What did they
Can you
use?
tell us
Radio.
something that you learned that gave you an answer to that? Like maybe I know it's a myriad of things, but you
Right.
know, if it's one thing that stuck with you in your travels with these big companies and you learning marketing and branding, what was the one? What was a one constant?
Okay. I just articulated it to you. See, they're not creative. We're creative,
Okay, so you
right?
saying the black people they hired?
What they are good at building systems.
Okay,
So what
okay.
I learned at Procter and Gamble
Gamble
and United Way,
was the
that's a
system.
system. Ford Motor Company, that's a system for making or manufacturing, marketing, and selling cars. They're excellent at building systems so that they can duplicate it, scale it, or grow it, right? And then teach it to millions of other people who can help them put the screw on the hub of the car.
Yeah.
They're part of the system, the
Yeah.
production system. So that's what I learned. That was the big thing I learned, is how to create systems. What is what is FraserNet? FraserNet's been around for 31 years, right?
Yeah.
We are a global network of African Americans who are, in fact, that this is what we do, is we put together products and services in the area of personal growth and development, lifelong learning, and constant never-ending improvement. So we're trying to create more entrepreneurs. We're trying to create more conscious people. So we take a group of our people from the Power Networking Conference every year. Power Networking Conference.
Yeah, you have a Power
Yeah,
Networking
I have a conference every year. 17 years old. It started right here in Cleveland. Forbes magazine named the Power Networking Conference one of the top 5 conferences in America,
you were on Black Entertainment magazine.
Yeah, I was on the cover of Black Enterprise.
Black
when I
Enterprise.
wrote
Black
my first book, Success Runs in Our Race.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I learned for the nearly 20 years I spent working for them. And then I took that knowledge, and at 42, I had my education, I had skills, I had experience, right? I had earned some money, I had made some friends, right? I had built a network, because I never went any place and then poured gasoline on it and left and burned a bridge. No.
Well, George, be candid with me. You've been all around the world. I've been around the world too. But you've been around the world. You've been around multiple types, from the corporate, the big wigs and things. Give me some advice. Just being on the outside looking in, coming in, sitting in, being around for a few minutes up till now. Is it something you can give me?
Sure. Introduce me to your 5 closest friends, and that will tell me who you are. As they know, and as they go, you go.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about that. Friends are critically important, because it's God's way of apologizing for your relatives. Okay, because
apologizing for your what, relatives?
Your relatives, right? Because you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your relatives, right?
Right.
And some of them are toxic. Some of our relatives are toxic. I ended up in Cleveland from Brooklyn, running away from my relatives, right?
Wow.
Running away from my brothers, right? I had aged out of foster care.
Okay.
And when you age out of foster care, you go back home, right? My father maintained a brownstone
Oh, I
in
didn't know
Brooklyn.
that.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow,
I aged
I
out.
did not
I
know
spent
that.
15 years in orphanages and foster care.
Were you still in touch with your brothers?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you were.
Absolutely.
So hold on. Let me try to fathom that, George. Let me try to fathom that. You know, 14, 15 years in foster care, wasn't at home, but you were in touch. I mean, how did that make you feel, being, ostracized from the family?
Yeah, it was very difficult. I had a very difficult.
How did you reconcile that to the point where you're successful?
I buried it. I buried it because it could have eaten me alive. I could have had a list of excuses for failing as long as my arm, right?
Yeah.
But I was sort of philosophical about it. Here's how I thought about it. I said to myself, this is the hand that God has dealt me. These are the cards that I have to play. And when I play these cards, and I play them as best as I can, God will give me new cards.
I don't know if you heard, like, our last summer was crazy over here. It was a war, street war, senseless deaths, just kept happening. And now here we are, a new summer.
That's what happens when you're not focused on the right thing. You're now focused. Then we become inward and we begin focusing on each other, right? And then that occurs. So, education. We've got to get our brothers and sisters in and out of high school minimally. Can you imagine a brother today or sister without a high school diploma? Where's that brother or sister going? Right to jail. Right to jail. So we got to get them in and out of high school. And to do that, you got to hang with the right people. And I say to the brothers all the time in these schools, if you're hanging out with brothers who are getting C's and D's, you're going to get C's and D's because there's a system for everything, right? So if your desire is to get an A, you got to hang out with brothers who are getting A's, right? And then copy their system. I promise you the system for getting an A is different than the system for getting a C. I promise you that. Okay? So obviously if you getting C's, you don't know the system for getting an A, right? And I tell the brothers, if you're hanging out with brothers who are getting in trouble with the law before they get out of high school, you're going to get in trouble with the law. And then I tell the sisters, if you're hanging out with sisters who are having babies before they get out of high school, you're going to have babies. And if you're hanging with hoes, you a hoe. Right? Now you may not be a hoe, but you hanging with hoes. So what am I to think? Right? So your associations are everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So that's A.
Okay.
B, focus on, and it was said a number of times, focus on business. Focus on business. In America, two things are going on 24/7. Somebody's buying and somebody's selling.
Yeah.
Stop doing all the damn buying and sell something. If you bake cookies, put them in a box, put your name on it and sell it to somebody. If you live on a farm, take the manure, put it in a bag, put your name on it and sell it to somebody. You can become an entrepreneur, okay? But stop doing all the damn buying. That's all we do. We are the consumption class. And white folks know this, and the Asians know this, and the Arabs know this. That's why they own most of this stuff around here, right? Because they know we are the #1 market for their stuff. Yeah. Okay? So sell something, right? Yeah, yes. I don't care what it is.
But I always say that too. Sell popsicle sticks if you got
That's right. Sell water.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. People sell, right? In the summertime. Yeah. So sell something. That's number two. Then as you get into the process, as you get into the mindset of business and economics, you should be figuring out every year how to double your streams of income, right? Right? There should not be a Negro in the 21st century with a single stream of income. You should have multiple streams of income. That's one of the things we teach at the Power Networking Conference. If you come to the Power Networking Conference with 2 streams of income, by the time you leave, you'll have 4 streams of income. If you come with 4, we'll teach you how to make that into 8. So you should have money coming in from multiple places, right? And it's an art to that. And it's a science. And I'm talking about legal money.
Yeah, right.
Okay? Legal money. So doubling streams of income is the second thing. The next thing is reduce your spending with them.
yeah. And spend some
with them exclusively by about 10 to 15% a year, right? Recycle those dollars back into our community. Support the brothers and sisters who are trying to brand and to market and to sell stuff. Reduce your spending with them. I can't tell you to stop spending with white folks. No, that ain't gonna happen. So you got to do it incrementally, and then use that savings, right, to recycle those dollars back into our own community.
Oh,